Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Really quick one today, I wanted to discuss the unique item Defiance of Destiny and what's behind its recent explosion in price. You can see here that it's gone from less than 1,000 chaos to more than 8, and it looks like it's continuing to go up here. It's going up against everything else you might compare it to as well. So it's not just going up against the Chaos Orb, it's going up against the Divine Orb, and it's even going up against the Mirror of Kaladra. Defiance of Destiny was added in 3.22, and it's arguably the second best defensive item in the game, second only to Mageblood. And that's because what it does is it makes you almost invincible to anything that doesn't one-shot you. When you suffer damage, you'll regain 42% in practice of your missing unreserved life before the hit is applied. So if you're at 1,500 or 4,500 life and you take a hit, before you lose any life for that hit, you recover 1,260 life, 42% of the missing 3,000. Now you'll notice the roll range is 25 to 35, but this item is rare enough that it warrants divining to get 35 or seeking out one that's already 35, and additionally it definitely warrants the 20 catalysts needed to get it up to 42%. So whilst you can still die to one-shots, in practice in Path of Exile, the times you do die, it's not usually to a one-shot, it's usually to a whole bunch of small hits happening in rapid succession, and that gives you almost immortality in those situations. So that's why Defiance of Destiny is good. Why has it exploded in price? Well, when it was introduced, it was a pretty rare drop from the Trials of the Ancestors mechanic. That mechanic didn't go core, and then in patch 3.23 it was added to the core drop pool of the game, and it was a tier 1 rarity unique. These are rare uniques, but they're not staggeringly rare, and whilst an individual player is not likely to see it over the course of a league, across the entirety of the trade league there's quite a lot of them that exist. Good examples of items that are tier 1 rarity: powerful niche item Rizlatha's Coil, universally strong Relikesh's Impatience, and the much more niche and not very popular at all Brian Crown. All of these are tier 1 rarity uniques. This is rarer than Chevron's Wrappings, rarer than Mjolnir, rarer than Aegis Aurora, but a lot more common than Headhunter, Mageblood, Kaladra's Touch, or the Squire. In patch 3.23, Defiance of Destiny was extremely dominant in the meta. And in the discussions of whether it should be nerfed or not, some people were advocating that it become a new chase unique item, that it remain completely and utterly broken, but that it be made rarer. And that's exactly what grinding gear games have done. So this item now has the same drop mechanics as Kaladra's Touch, Headhunter, Mageblood, and the like, and it also has no divination cards. The reason we know it's a tier 0 rarity unique now is because of the good luck of Reddit user eMiracles, who managed to get this screenshot after they had earned themselves a somewhat valuable inscribed ultimatum. Now, inscribed ultimatums have a bunch of hidden information in them. Essentially, you can tell how rare the reward is based upon the monster life bonus and the monster damage bonus. It is 50% and 200% if the item is a tier 0 rarity. It is 40% and 120% if it's tier 1. It's 30% and 70% if it's tier 2. It can be smaller amounts if it is a more common unique. The system of using inscribed ultimatums to work out the rarity of items was something that was worked out late last year in the Prohibited Library Discord, and the main person that I could find that I would attribute this to is Nerdy Joe, although there were a few other people involved in doing this. And then over time it's been tested and tested by more and more people, and it seemed to stand up pretty well. So, this inscribed ultimatum, just the fact that it's 200% more monster life, 50% increased monster damage, that's actually conclusive proof that this is a tier 0 rarity unique. So I expect we may see more of this upwards trend. Lastly, one little tip. You won't find inscribed ultimatums unless the Trial Master is in your zone, but if you do find one, and it happens to be a 50% 200% one, but it gives an undesirable reward, like let's say it gives the unique Claw Essentia Sanguis, which is believed to still be tier 0, then what you should do is sell that for quite a bit. The reason you want to sell it for a bit and not sell it for a small amount, if you vendor 5 inscribed ultimatums, the ultimatum you receive back from the 5-for-1 vendor SP will have the same tier as the lowest tier of the inputs that you put in. So, if you put in 5 tier 0 inscribed ultimatums, even if they're all for very cheap uniques like Essentia Sanguis, then you'll have a chance of getting something like this little beauty here. Anyways, told you this would be a short one. I'm going to leave it there. May your Val Orbs have interesting results.